and welcome. You're watching Left, Right and Centre. I'm Sonu Mehrotra Kapoor. The big story tonight. Two Delhi-based female journalists. They've now been detained in Tripura. First, the journalists, the news got out when the journalists started tweeting out that they'd been intimidated, even held up inside the police station without any reason. Later, there was an FIR registered against the two of them. This for instigating communal tensions. Now, who are these journalists and why were they in Tripura? Well, both of them, their names are Sammriddhi and Swarna. Both of them had travelled to Tripura to try and understand what exactly was the reason for tension in that area. We've been reporting about that story for a while now. After a long day of being there, tweeting that they've been held or detained by the Tripura police, there is now finally a case. There is an FIR against them. They've been detained. Who has filed the FIR? Well, it's the VHP. The FIR goes on to say, filed by a supporter of the right-wing group, says that both of them had been detained, has been promoting enmity between different groups on grounds of religion. The FIR has lots of sections, 153A, has 120B, etc. as well. But what exactly was the fault of these journalists? Should they have been picked up? Were they simply picked up for doing their job? Is this a cover-up? What exactly is happening? We'll get to the truth of that. First up, herein from the girls.
एयरपोर्ट जा रहे थे. एक्चुअली हमें वहाँ से फ्लाइट लेनी थी कि हम इस रोड से जा रहे थे, तभी इस रोड पे पुलिस लोग यहाँ पे खड़े थे. फिर उन्होंने कहा कि आपको हमारे साथ आना होगा. तो हमने पूछा कि क्यों. फिर उन्होंने बोला
उन्होंने वहाँ पे हमें कुछ भी नहीं बताया. हम अंदर आए, हमें बैठाया गया. अप्रोक्सीमेटली 15-20 मिनट्स उन्होंने बताया कि यहाँ पे त्रिपुरा पुलिस से हमें ऑर्डर्स आए. तो हमने पूछा कि सर कोई ऑफिशियल ऑर्डर है तो आप हमें दिखा दीजिए पेपर में. बट देन द ऑफिसर इंचार्ज टोल्ड मी नो, देयर इज नो ऑफिशियल ऑर्डर, वी हैव हैड अ कॉन्वर्सेशन ओवर कॉल. मैंने बोला ठीक है. एंड इट्स बीन मोर देन आई थिंक 3.5 hours वी आर सिटिंग हियर. इट्स जस्ट दैट 20 मिनट्स अगो त्रिपुरा पुलिस यहाँ पे आई है. ठीक है, एस्कॉर्ट टीम आई है. एस्कॉर्ट टीम आती है, यहाँ पे बैठती है. हमने उनसे पूछा कि सर 5 मिनट रुक जाइए, हमारे लॉयर्स आएंगे. उन्होंने जोर से बोला कि नहीं, कोई नहीं आएगा.
फिर आप हमें जो ले जा रहे हैं तो एटलीस्ट अपना ऑर्डर कॉपी दिखा दीजिए. तो उन्होंने उससे वो दिखाने से भी डिनाई किया है. अभी
बोलते हैं कि हम एस्कॉर्ट टीम के.
All right, so that was the version of the journalists over there. What is the police saying? Police have a different side of the story. They say that based on the FIR, we today went to meet the journalists who were staying in a hotel there and the subdivision of Tripura's North District. We took their permission and spoke with them on the basis of the information that they had. We served them a notice as well, according to the police. They requested us to give us some time to appear with their lawyer. The permission was given. This is in sharp contrast to what the journalists have said as well. So what exactly is happening here for the moment? Let's cut across to my colleague Ratandeep reporting the latest on this story. Before that, also let's bring out to you the Editors Guild reaction that has come in. A tweet has come in from the Editors Guild demanding, it has condemned the action and demanded the immediate release of these two journalists as well. Ratandeep, as always, the story seems to be lost between two versions over here. Could you give us a timeline into what has been our personal verification on what the journalists were doing there and what exactly happened?
Well, what we have been able to gather from our sources at Ground Zero, as well as I did speak to some senior police officials in Tripura Police. In fact, the Tripura Police has now come out with a statement, official statement of what really transpired. Now, what has happened is that there are two separate cases filed against these two journalists. One which has been filed at Fatikrai police station, which we reported this morning. So the story that we reported in this morning was a case which has been filed against these two journalists in Fatikrai police station, which is in North Tripura, where the complaint was given by one Kanchan Das, a supporter of VHP, who had given a complaint, and based on his complaint, the case was registered. And this morning, police, according to the police, they went to a hotel where these two journalists were putting up in Dharmnagar, which is in North Tripura, and the police claims that they went to the hotel to serve notice to these two journalists to join the investigation. The journalists claimed that the police was not allowing them to come out of the hotel, and they also complained of intimidation, which the police has denied. The police goes on to claim that the journalists were allowed, in this case, in the Fatikrai police station case, they were allowed actually to appear in front of the investigating officer within 21st of November. But this there is another case which has been filed against these two journalists. Now this case is in Kakraban police station, which is in Gomti district of Tripura, and it has been filed on 11th of November. So and this is related to some social media posts again by the journalist, which the police claim that they have verified, and they have found that those the claims made by the journalists in the social media posts are not true, and therefore the police says that they have filed a case where under several sections of the IPC where they are booked for creation of hatred between communities by fabricating and concealing records and for criminal conspiracy.
Right. Ratnev, I'm going to interrupt you for a minute.
According to the police and
I'm going to interrupt you for a minute because just want to get this fact straight. There are 2 FIRs against these 2 journalists according to the police. Filed by whom, can you tell us? And also if they've been picked up and detained as of this moment, under which FIR have they been detained?
Yeah, that's exactly what the details that I'm actually trying to share with our viewers, is that they have been detained in the FIR which has been filed against them on 11th of November at Kakraban police station, which is in Gomti district of Tripura, and this is an FIR which police has taken suo moto. So they have not been detained with regards to the other FIR which we were reporting this morning, which is under Fatikrai police station. In that FIR, they were allowed to travel back to Delhi, and they were asked to come back on within 21st of November along with their lawyers to appear in front of the investigating officer. But then there is another FIR which was filed on 11th of November, and what a senior police officials have given us to understand that in fact the investigating officer had contacted the 2 journalists, and they were asked that while you return, you please visit the police station for examination. Now police claims, and in an official press release, police claims that the 2 journalists committed that they would come and meet, but they decided to escape. So the word used here is that the 2 reporters made an escape towards Assam. On getting the information, Assam police was contacted and they were detained at Nilam Bazar police station. Now Nilam Bazar is actually the first major Assam town that comes after at the Assam-Tripura border. So this is what the police is claiming. Now what we are hearing from Ground Zero is that a police team of Tripura police, which also includes women officials, women police officials, have reached Nilam Bazar police station. And Assam police sources are telling us that since these 2 journalists don't have any case in Assam, and they have only detained it on the request that has been sent by Tripura police, so they will hand them over to Tripura police. Now whether they will be brought to Tripura overnight or not is not clear at this moment. We will have to wait and watch. But what police sources have been have given us to understand is that police had to act against them and had to stop them at Nilam Bazar, because what police claims is that these 2 journalists have not kept their word. They had given a word to the police that they would come and meet the investigating officer
Quick couple of
in
questions,
Agartala on their way to Delhi,
before I
but
move
they
to the
decided
discussion. Have they been given lawyer access? Have these 2 journalists been given lawyer access?
At this moment, they are in Assam. They're in Nilam Bazar police station. I think the process of their handover to Tripura police is being carried out. So there is no clarity in terms of whether they have a lawyer access or not. But we have played out that bite where the journalists are also accusing Tripura police of harassing them. So this is what has transpired over the this entire day. But one thing for sure, which we can confirm to our viewers, is that there are 2 separate FIR against these 2 journalists, and they have been detained in connection to an FIR filed on 11th of November at Kakraban police station, a suo moto FIR by Tripura police.
All right. So that's where the facts stand as of this moment. Thanks, Ratnev, for joining us. Let me cut across to Javed Ansari, now senior journalist joining us tonight. Javed Ansari, your first thoughts on what we are hearing on 2 separate FIRs, police saying that they were trying They did not keep up with their word that they will come and report, and that's why they've been picked up.
No, so since when and under what rule must journalists first report to the police every time they go on a reporting assignment? Is doing journalism illegal under any law of this country, under the constitution of this country? Since when? Are there some new rules that are applied now in force in Tripura? I mean, what is happening? Since when has reporting become a crime? I've been a journalist for 37 years. I've never heard or seen anything like this.
Right. Debjani, let me...
I mean, this is bizarre.
Right.
There are questions that the state government needs to answer.
Right. Even if we were to believe the version of the UP of, the Tripura police in this case as of this moment, to understand that they're saying that they were trying to escape and that's why they picked them up. Which law, could you please tell me, in this country says that for a tweet which they allegedly believe is false, can you pick up journalists like this without even letting them know what their fault is?
What I would rather put it like this, that we are the citizens of this country, the journalists are also, and we have our individual professions. Similarly, police also have their individual profession. If actually they have called, if at all the police had called them to attend the police station to have some talks, relevant talks, the journalists, it is their citizenry, duty as an Indian citizen to attend that call. If someone calls me and says that I need your cooperation, I need to talk to you regarding this, then should I avoid that? I should not. Here the police didn't call only the journalists. Police also called the relevant people regarding that incident. And there was no point why I should try to avoid the police call. I should attend, because why? If I was going there for my work, I was reporting. So why should I avoid a police call?
This is just assuming the police version all over. Debjani doesn't. It is. Have you seen? These are young journalists who have travelled from the national capital to try and unearth what was happening in Tripura. They went all the way there just to do their job. And now, in a FIR which is apparently dated on the 11th, I'm not even sure if that's the time they were there in Tripura at that moment. But it's a dated FIR. Do they even know about this? All these facts extremely unclear. Javed Ansari, quick comments, please.
Right. I agree with you. That is all the more reason for them to go and talk to the police. That's all the more reason. They also should have said.
But they've been in the police station for over 3.5 hours.
Clarify them.
They've been in the police station for over 3.5 hours, and they are the ones telling the police that give us clarity on what's happening. They want lawyer access, not given. They want clarity over what's going to happen next, not given. They're making videos and putting it out on Twitter saying that we've been picked up and please can we get some help over here? Javed Ansari?
Sonal, my information, and it's subject to correction, but my information from very reliable sources suggests that these two of our colleagues were not even there when these FIRs have been filed. They were not even in the state. They were not even on assignment. This is all an afterthought. This is nothing but an undisguised attempt at arm twisting, at ensuring that the truth doesn't come out. And, there is a new set of rules now according to which you need to play. If you don't want journalists to report, if you don't want journalists to go there, just why don't you make it clear? Why are you, running around in circles, filing post-dated FIRs? Since when on earth, answer one question, since when on earth has reporting become a criminal offense in this country?
Point only.
All right, we have to leave it there for the moment. I'm short on time today, but thank you both for joining us. We'll keep a very close tap on this story. The fact remains for us to see as of this moment is that the MHA, the government, came out with a version of what happened in Tripura. These were journalists there and they allegedly tweeted something which was against what the government was saying, and now there is an FIR saying that those tweets led to communal misharmony in the area. We leave it there for the moment. Back in a moment when we also discuss about what's happening here in the national capital. Delhi's air quality today improved marginally as the air quality in the capital Well, improvement here means very poor category still. Meanwhile, pollution levels in the national capital region, especially Noida, Gurugram, also remained extremely worrying. Noida remained in the hazardous category with 536. Gurugram also in severe category 423 over there. This is the time of the year where year after year, conversation after conversation, one measure after the other, but the air quality still as bad. Still as bad as just the simple act of breathing is like smoking several cigarettes in a single day. The respite now left to the weather gods. We are now hoping, and the Suffer app and the Met Department is saying that as in wind quality, as that improves, we might see a slightly better air in the coming few days as well. But that also is dependent on whether or not or how good or bad the fires are going to be. The fire, that is the farm fire, stubble burning, something again that we have talked year after year, one government after the other. It became an election issue as well at one point. But guess what? After so many years of talking about farm fires, well, it should have gone down, right? But currently we stand at a 3-year peak of stubble burning. What you see on your screen right now is the percentage share of stubble burning as it contributes to the PM 2.5 levels in the air. These levels which can cause cancer, these levels which are leaving pregnant women and unborn kids having dysfunctions already. These levels that can impact health of one and all living in the national capital region. And these numbers, the AQI numbers that we keep looking at, well, the only permissible limit is 50. We've not even gone below 200 in this year for the longest time. Look at those top 10 polluted cities. It is mostly Delhi NCR region. Rajasthan also featuring now there more and more. UP, Haryana, Delhi of course features in that list as well. Now what did the national capital, the government do here? To tackle this, the Delhi Chief Minister has announced a pollution lockdown, which means that schools would remain physically closed for a week. All construction activities will be shut down between 14 November to 17 November. Government offices, employees have been asked to work from home, 100% capacity for a week at least, while private offices have been given advisory to work from home. These are basically the GRAP guidelines which are supposed to come down the minute Delhi hits the severe category. But how long will this work like this really, and how long will we keep just passing the buck over here? Let's take this debate forward. Abhishek, let's hear your thoughts.
If you go by the research done by IIT Kanpur, followed by CSE, and yesterday what the Honorable Supreme Court mentioned about Delhi, it is very clear that the narrative that has been made in Delhi for the last 3-4 years, that farmers are the main reason for causing air pollution, is completely denied. Even the Honorable Supreme Court very clearly yesterday said, if 25% is farmers, 75% is still the responsibility of the state government. We must realize what has the state government done in the last 7 years. Transportation wise, they're not adding buses. They're not expanding the metro. There are 2,800 buses running in Delhi. The need is 15,000 buses. And today the air quality level is better because today is a Sunday. People are not traveling out. This forced lockdown is simply because of the fact that there has been no preparation done in Delhi. And I was noticing all the cities that you're mentioning. If Punjab is the main reason why there's not even a single city from Punjab, then Patiala should be suffering, Bathinda should be suffering, Chandigarh should be suffering. You're only talking about states in Delhi NCR, and Delhi is a hub to a lot of people who stay around Delhi. A lot of people come from Gurgaon to work in Delhi. A lot of people come from Noida to work in Delhi. And definitely, yes, Delhi air pollution, the main reason is misgovernance. Look at the way 940 crore rupees in the last 5 years.
Delhi government did take some measures. I've heard your point. I've heard your point, but I also want to understand what Congress government in Punjab has done. Delhi government put up smoke towers. 1 second. Hear the question first. Hear the question. Delhi government put out smoke towers. They have talked about vacuum cleaners. They've talked about other measures. They introduced odd and even. They are the first city now to sort of actually implement the GRAP guidelines as well. It seems like they're trying to do whatever they can. They are landlocked state at the end of the day. So I want to understand, when it comes to burning of crops, and Punjab is
Sonal,
getting into elections
let
mode
me-
right now. Why is it that burning of stubble has gone up? Highest in the past 3
Sonal,
years?
1 second. Let's talk about Delhi first, and let me please rebut to each and everything that you
No,
mentioned.
Delhi, I'll ask Delhi government. Now you talk about Punjab.
We are talking about Delhi. No, I stay in Delhi. My son can't go to the school tomorrow. Let me complete. 2 smog towers have been put in Delhi on direction of the Supreme Court. How many smog towers were they supposed to put? Now Kejriwal ji has been in Delhi for the last 8 years. He's answerable to us. How many buses have they bought? How many vacuum cleaners are Delhi government using? How many places do they have? They've failed in all beams. They've not even bought a single bus in 7 years. Why talk about Punjab? Let's talk about Delhi first. We are talking about Delhi air pollution. And if
Okay,
Punjab
we
is a
spoke about
criteria-
Delhi. You've made your point.
No, okay.
Let's come to Punjab next.
Punjab air is absolutely clean. Why are we blaming the farmers? This is exactly what the Honorable Supreme Court has said. Don't blame the farmers. You and I are not bigger than the Supreme Court, are we?
Nobody is blaming the farmers. I'm understanding stubble burning.
This is the
How
narrative
is
that
it?
Delhi government
How
has
is
made.
it, Abhishek, that's a stubble burning after so much of conversation about it is actually sitting at its peak in the past 3 years?
Tell me one thing. Tell me how many buses, what has the Delhi government done besides giving statements? They've
I'm
collected
asking, the question is
1,300
on Punjab. Let's stick to that.
But
You've
tell
spoken
me,
about Delhi.
Okay, pick up one city in Punjab and check the air quality level, then we'll discuss Punjab. Don't blame the farmers. It's a narrative created by Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. It is a pure narrative, and today when they go to Punjab election, tell Mr. Arvind Kejriwal to make a statement, or let the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson make a statement in your show right now.
Well, Abhishek, the problem
You and
is
I are
I'm
not
asking
bigger
you
than
about
farmers.
stubble
Why are you
burning
blaming the
and you are
farmers?
making it about farmers and then you are making it about
No, but
Delhi.
you are-
I want a
no,
simple
why are you blaming the
answer.
farmers?
I want a simple answer because I
Yes.
want to go to other panelists now. Simple
Okay,
answer
please check
on
the-
why
I will give you the
stubble
answer.
burning has gone up. Why
because-
why have we not managed to give enough compensation, enough alternatives to farmers to use other means which are not going to be as polluting? Why?
I completely agree with you. Simple question. If you look at the Supreme Court order, the central government was supposed to fund the state governments to buy these expensive machines. These state governments in their own individual capacity cannot buy these machines. And the Supreme Court order very clearly defined that it is a central responsibility to get all the states, whether it is a BJP-run Uttar Pradesh, Haryana or Punjab. What is the state government doing? They're not even releasing their funds. But my major issue is 70 to 80% of air pollution in Delhi is because of the misgovernance of Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, and you have to agree to it. You ask the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, 8 years of Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi, besides 2 smog towers because of Supreme Court direction, what have they done? They've not even spent 1,000 crore rupees lying in their kitty on green cess fund.
Okay, so
940 crore
let me
rupees
take
being
that
spent on
question.
advertisement.
Let me take that question to Reena Gupta now. Reena, if Delhi keeps blaming other states, the point is, what have you done? That is the question that Abhishek is asking. Valid point. I want to understand from you what measures will be taken now, or will it just be like yet another year where you will blame Haryana, you will blame Punjab, and at the end of the day, lungs of people like us, you and I, who are living in Delhi, are going to keep suffering?
See, Sonal, it's very clear that Abhishek has very limited understanding of how air pollution works. If the farmers in Punjab and Haryana are burning stubble, all of that air actually comes downstream. And so it is not just, and it's not as if Punjab cities and Haryana cities are not in severe category. You look at Patiala, you look at Jalandhar, you look at Ludhiana, all of them are off the charts today. So the point that I'm trying to make, Sonal, is that everything which happens in the 200 to 300 kilometer airshed of Delhi impacts Delhi. So there is no point every year we debate the same issues. The Supreme Court said very clearly, don't blame the farmers. Nobody wants to blame the farmers. Farmers are burning because they
Reena,
don't
it's
have
not about what
solution.
Abhishek said. I want to understand what is the Delhi government is doing about this.
So, Sonal, we are the only ones who are actually taking concrete steps in Delhi.
Name
We've
them very
shut down.
quickly.
Exactly. So, allow me in the same time that you are allowed, Abhishek.
Yeah,
Sonal.
we
are the only ones. We are the only ones who've shut down polluting thermal power plants. Outdated technology in Punjab, Haryana. 10% of Delhi pollution comes from those power plants in Punjab and Haryana. And there is so much corruption in those power plants in Punjab and Haryana. Why are they not being shut down? 30-year-old technology. Nowhere in the world is it being allowed. Coal producing thermal power plants. Why are they not being shut down?
Okay.
Polluting industries which are using pet coke, the most polluting fuel in the world, in Punjab and Haryana. All of that comes to Delhi. So Delhi, we shut down power plants, we shut down polluting industries.
I quickly have to take comments. I quickly have to take comments from the BJP as well. Mr. Kaushik has been waiting in very patiently. Kaushik ji, your thoughts on what is happening right now? कब तक चलेगा ऐसे?
देखिए, मैं एक बात सुन रहा था, ये आप पार्टी के जो हमारे प्रवक्ता बोल रहे हैं, केजरीवाल जी की ऐसी शख्सियत है, वो काम से नहीं जुबान से जाने जाते हैं। वो अपना जो ठीकरा होता है ना, वो दूसरी सरकार को पटालना
पंजाब की हरियाणा की इतनी सारी सिटीज में
आप बताइए, हरियाणा के हम लोग के हरियाणा में नहीं रहते क्या पोल्यूशन की? हमें ज्यादा दिखता है क्या पोल्यूशन?
तो क्या कर रहे हैं?
कैसे कह सकते हैं लोग? तो हम भी तो हरियाणा में, हम सरकार ने इतने हमारे अच्छे इंतजाम किए पोल्यूशन की, पराली जलाने के मामले में लोगों को हमने अवेयर किया, जाली पराली हमने खरीदना शुरू कर दिया। केजरीवाल जी क्या कर रहे हैं? केजरीवाल जी के तो स्कूलों में उन्होंने अपने क्या कर दिया पोल्यूशन के रिगार्डिंग? जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश के बाद भी अपना काम नहीं कर पाए वो, तो दूसरी गवर्नमेंट में ठीकरा क्यों सौंपते हैं वो? केजरीवाल जी पंजाब में जा कुछ बोलते हैं, हरियाणा में जा कुछ बोलते हैं, दिल्ली में जा कुछ बोलते हैं। तो ये दोहरी राजनीति कैसे करते हैं ये लोग?
Sad state of affairs until we figure out a solution. Keep your masks on, keep your air purifiers on as well. That's it on Left, Right and Center tonight. Good night.